Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today I am hearing the band Supertramp for the first time, so we're starting with a live performance of the Logical song. Here we go.
Tell you something about Paris. Makes me feel very logical.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful.
Hold up. I have heard this before. Okay. Here we go.
Tell you something about Paris. Makes me feel very logical.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, how it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, oh, they'd be singing so happily, oh, joyfully, oh, playfully, watching me. But then they sent me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, clinical, how intellectual, cynical. There are times when all the world's asleep, the questions run too deep for such a simple mind. Won't you please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd, but please tell me who I am. I said, now what would you say? I'll be calling you a radical, a liberator, a fanatical criminal. Won't you sign up your name? We'd like to be your acceptable.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here. I recognize the tune. What he's doing vocally is not something I recognize. And I don't know if I heard this song in the car or in a movie or something like that, but his vocals are far more interesting than I was prepared for. I think maybe I just was ready to get swept away in the melody, and there's a lot more happening. So back to the beginning.
Something about Paris. Makes me feel very logical.
When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. A miracle, how it was beautiful, magical.
I love the nasality. It's not overly present, but there is a lot of forward placement. I mean, the nasality isn't overly present. He really lets the ends of phrases just sort of fall off or taper off. And he does it in such a delicate way that it's just, I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's giving, like, I don't know if it's some sort of character or there's just an interesting precision that I don't hear very often.
A miracle, how it was beautiful, magical. And all the birds in the trees, oh, they'd be singing.
I will also say, especially in these first couple lines when we have that sort of magical, L's and R's are some of the trickiest consonants to sing because they really affect the shape of the vocal tract. And anytime you're changing that shape, things happen that we as singers have to sort of adjust for. So by allowing it to just fall off and not going through, I mean, if you just at home say magical and like pay attention to what your tongue is doing, it's a lot of work. So to just magical, just let it let it release, I think, is really smart, because then you can kind of just keep everything where you want it.
So happily or joyfully, how playfully, what you need.
Now, with these E vowels, he's giving us a lot of vibrato, and it's a very fast rate, which surprised me because I don't remember hearing this in whatever version I heard previously.
But then they sent me away to teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they showed me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, clinical, how intellectual, cynical. There are times when all the world's asleep.
Now, he's still keeping that forward placement, but the phrasing here, I feel like because the notes are longer, it gives him a moment to just sort of really like dig into his singing. So we get these beautiful, slightly more legato lines, and we get to just enjoy more of his tone, which I really like.
There are times when all the world's asleep. The questions run too deep for such a simple mind. Won't you please tell me what we've learned? I know it sounds absurd, but please tell me who I am. I said, now what would you say? I'll be calling you a radical, a liberato, a fanatical, criminal. Won't you?
I need to learn a little bit more about this song, because it certainly feels as though he's incorporating a bit of sarcasm in his delivery, but I need to we're gonna put a pause on that theory until I learn more. But if you guys know, please feel free to comment. He starts this with so much more intensity, and I think because my mind is telling me like later on we're gonna get that "Who I Am" turns into like a bridge into something else, I think, or a chorus. I can't quite remember, but I do remember like harmonies in that section. So because we're not getting that just yet, I like that he started this next line with so much intensity to just kind of like snap you out of that anticipation.
I said, now what would you say? I'll be calling you a radical, a liberato, a fanatical, criminal. Won't you sign up your name? We'd like to feel you're acceptable, respectable, presentable, vegetable. Oh, take it, yeah. When the night went on the road.
Yes, please. More sax, more trumpet, more everything in these bands. I know, like, a little while back we listened to Chicago. There's so many good, cool, interesting, fun instruments that we could be incorporating in music that just kind of get boxed into one genre or another. So I'm happy to hear this.
When the night went on the road to sleep, the questions run so deep for such a simple mind. Won't you please tell me what we've learned?
Can't you help me?
I know it sounds absurd.
Won't you tell me?
Please tell me who I am.
I don't know who was doing the first duet. These are some interesting voicings. I feel like we're getting kind of some extremes in that, like, this lead vocalist, he's got that brightness and lightness, and then whoever started duetting him, there was a little bit more texture, and a little bit more intensity and warmth in that sound, and then now this other gentleman is also singing along. So I don't know who the first one was, but the harmonies are not overly tight, in that I don't feel like they're trying super hard to blend with one another, which I kind of like in this particular song. There's always a time and a place, but sometimes it's fun to just feel more, I don't know, when you're not worried about blending so much, it just kind of, well, I say this, blending is an interesting thing. Sometimes you don't worry about it and it can sound like this really full choir of voices because it's just all these distinct sounds. And then other times it can feel a little chaotic. On the flip side, sometimes when you're blending with a lot of precision, trying to match like vibrato rate and all of this stuff, it can sound very small, almost like one person, but then other times it can just sound so magnificent because you've just got all these great voicings kind of matching each other. So it can go either way, but right now what I'm hearing, it feels like a nice fullness to the song, which I enjoy. Was what I was waiting for. I like that he waited until the very last reiteration of that phrase to go into what I'm gonna call head voice, but it's a very present head voice, and it matches really nicely what's coming before. His mix is really strong, but just blends beautifully with everything that's happening, everything that came before. So it just felt like, oh my goodness, his mix is just, I can't believe he's getting so high. And then when he went into head voice, yes, we could hear that slight shift, but he put a lot of press and air into it, so it didn't feel super separated from the tones we were getting before. What does this, oh my goodness. Right here, this is reminding me of another song. And I know you guys know it. It'll come to me. I'm gonna listen again, and then we're just gonna go on. And then I'm gonna have to, Captain and Tennille? Is that what I'm thinking of? Maybe Love Will Keep Us Together a little bit. We'll see. Was brilliant. Just this last section I want to play again. That silence was so well calculated and executed. Same with the voicings at the end. I feel like maybe I just heard part of this as sort of background to a scene in a movie or something like that. Or perhaps this live performance is a bit different from the studio version, and that's why I'm not recognizing a lot of these sounds. Either way, his voice, he's got a lot of variety in his voice. And I like that he uses it. I like that he isn't afraid to make small sounds, big sounds, changing up textures, vibrato. There's just a lot going on there, and it seemed to fit so nicely with the text, which I love. And then, of course, I mean, saxophone, like, and I don't know this gentleman's name. I will look it up. I will do all my research now. But just seeing that he's got, you know, soprano, alto, tenor, bari sax. I couldn't see all the instruments, but there were a lot of them, you know? So I can only imagine how fun it would have been to just be there and watch him do his thing on so many different pieces. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.